Shout out to all the soccer moms out there. This movie is going to be right up your alley. Today on the channel, I'm going to be talking about an action comedy film called Mafia Mama. But is the film any good and should you be checking it out in theaters right now? Well, stick around and find out my thoughts. An American mom inherits her grandfather's mafia empire in Italy. Guided by the firm's consigliere, she hilariously defies everyone's expectations as the new head of the family business. The film stars Toni Collette, Monica Bellucci, Eduardo Scarpetta, Tommy Roger, Tim Daesh, Jay Nattel, and many others, and was directed by Catherine Hardwicke, and she's done films like 13, Red Riding Hood, Twilight, and Miss Bala. Mafia Mama, I actually didn't see a trailer for this film in the theater. I actually was working out at the gym, and this trailer popped up on the screen, and I just saw like a brief clip of it and saw that Toni Collette was going to be in it, and I was like, I'll go ahead and check it out and see what it's really about. I really didn't read the synopsis or anything, so I went into the film pretty blind for the most part. And after watching this film, I'm kind of confused as to what this film was trying to do. I think it was a parody towards Mafia. I think that's what it was trying to do, but I'm not really sure. So the film starts out with this character named Kristen, played by Toni Collette. She has a job that she really isn't really respected at, which we can really see in the film. She has a son that's going off to college, and then when she comes home from work, her husband is actually cheating on her and having sex with another woman. And then she gets a phone call that apparently one of her family members died in Italy. And so she's kind of taken back by that. She hasn't seen her grandfather in a long time, and so she really is kind of reluctant to go there. She's kind of one of those people that kind of just takes all the punches thrown at her and really just doesn't punch back. And when she gets this phone call, she's very taken back by it. And then she finally decides, you know what, I'm going to do something for myself, as her friend encourages her to go there. So when she goes there, she apparently finds out that she is a mafia boss. But before she finds that out, she attends the funeral, and they are attacked by the Romanos. And that is when she finds out that she is a part of a mafia. When she finds out that she's part of the mafia business, she really doesn't take it that serious. She's really here in Italy to be on vacation. She wants to fall in love. Conveniently, when she actually steps off the plane, she meets this Italian guy, and she instantly falls in love with him and instantly gives her number out. And apparently she hasn't had sex in 3 years. And she's very also obsessed with wine. So she really wants to drink a lot of wine while she's on this tour here in Italy. And most of this movie, it really kind of goes back and forth with her doing the romance thing and also having sort of action scenes and dealing with the mafia. But it's a very confused movie as far as actual tone. She has these henchmen that follow her around. They're really goofy looking guys that honestly look like they really couldn't stop anybody. And the film, it really plays out like a sitcom. I think it was trying to go that approach. However, I just felt like a lot of the jokes in here that didn't really land. I did feel myself at times laughing at some of the jokes, and I do think towards like older women, they will like this kind of humor in here, especially since Kristen really kind of goes more so for the 40 and 50-year-olds. I really do think that they would probably have a pretty decent time watching this film. But as far as the mafia portion of this film, I felt like the scene where they're at the funeral and they have the shootout, I thought that that really was going to make it a big kind of action movie. We're going to get a lot of fight scenes like that, but we really only get one other one. And when we have that shootout, it's very goofy. It doesn't really take it serious. It definitely feels like you're on this set where people are just kind of joking around and kind of going through the motions. The jokes in here, they're very much pointed at The Godfather, because apparently Toni Collette's character hasn't seen The Godfather. Every time the Italians actually hear the word Romano, they spit at the ground. And one other thing that really did surprise me about this film is the graphic violence in this film. I really didn't expect that in this film. There is one part where Toni Collette's character, she's in a room and this guy tries to choke her out, which I don't understand why he would try to choke her out. If he's one of their best men, you think that he would just shoot her dead and that would be it. But then he tries to choke her out, and she grabs him and she ends up nailing his eye out and mutilating his eye and kicking his scrotum. And it was a very violent scene. There's other parts where people's fingers are cut off, their hands are cut off, their feet are cut off. It's very weird in the tonal part of that, but I was okay with that violence. But some people I can see wouldn't be okay with that. So that's why I say this film is kind of mixed in a way, because It kind of appeals to people that would like that kind of horrorish, gorish type of thing, but at the same time, it does have that comedy that really would lean towards older women. But I think older women would have a hard time with the graphic nature of some of the things in this film. So it's a little bit on the crazy tonal side that I'm not really sure where the audience really would be for this film. I feel like it would be kind of split because you have certain things going for one kind of audience and then other things going for the other kind of audience. But overall, for me, as far as like the narrative and how this film kind of goes, it doesn't really work for me. I feel like there are parts, like I said, that do make me laugh, and I feel like there are times where I do kind of get into certain things of the movie, but overall, Kristen's character, she's kind of ditzy and she definitely can't run a mafia. There definitely was some really head scratcher scenes. One scene in particular where she meets with the Romano boss, and then she goes into the room with him as she's going to have sex with him because she hasn't had sex in a really long time. And he tries to kill her. And when he ends up dying from this scene, she ends up throwing up on him and then dropping her phone in the vomit. I guess that was trying to be funny, but it really wasn't. Then we have another scene where she's just done something very violent and she's sitting on a bed, and the guy Fabrizio, he doesn't really like her in this film particularly, but after this scene, he particularly does like her for some reason. It seems like it's trying to be a romantic scene, I'm not really sure, and he starts making these tiger noises. It was just a really awkward kind of scene. And then the third awkward scene in this film was a court case that was going on. It was towards the end of the film, and I thought this would be the ending scene, but apparently it wasn't. That scene wrapped up rather quickly, and it was a weird kind of awkward scene. It definitely felt like a sitcom kind of scene, and just didn't really work for me. And then it switches to this scene where it's supposed to be a serious scene, and it goes off into another plot point, which was just like, what the heck? I mean, why do we even need this twist in here? It was kind of stupid, to be honest with you. By the time this film wrapped up, I gathered that I really liked Toni Collette on screen, but she really wasn't really used properly, I would say. I don't really think this is a film that really fit with her, and overall, it just wasn't a film that I really enjoyed that much, but it did have some chuckling moments. And I'm not sure who to recommend this to because it really has some crazy tonal shifts, and I'm just not sure who would really enjoy it, to be honest with you. As far as the score for this film, I would give it a 2 out of 5. It's not the worst film I've seen this year, but it definitely didn't work for me, and I just didn't really enjoy it overall. But thank you guys for watching this review. Let me know in the comments, did you watch this film? Are you going to check it out? Thank you guys again, and I will see you guys on my next review.